During last year's battle of the biggest ATV, 3 manufacturers reviewed the 800cc engine size line. We took the big 3 and put them in a shootout. The area we choose is located in East Germany, a former barrack of the East German Volksarmee. Our test riders got their introduction to these power monsters in a warm-up session. Each one of the beasts let loose 70 horsepower with only one touch at the throttle. Scary. Who has the best acceleration? Besides the pure engine power and the gearing, the ATV weight plays a major role. The XP with all liquids weighs 856 pounds on our scale. It's the heaviest in our shootout. The XP is followed by the Thundercat with 793 and the Outlander with 749 pounds. In sprinting, the reaction time of the rider is important, that is certain. In each test, the Arctic Cat always won the whole shot. In longer distances, the Outlander overtakes the Cat at approximately 60 miles per hour. The gearing and therefore the top speed of the Can-Am is the highest. But how about off-roading? Again, we do an acceleration test, this time in mud and in snow, with all-wheel drive locked in place. Pure engine power is no longer the main issue. The tires play a much more important role on soaked soil than on pavement. Although the Polaris tires are top-notch on-road, they do not perform well under wet conditions. In our off-road test, the Outlander was clearly the winner. Its combination of power and traction proved to be the best. Thundercat is in the middle of the pack. Under slippery conditions, our riders had to back off the throttle to maintain control. However, when the traction is there, this cat can't be caught. On the way to the track, even though it is the heaviest in the shootout, the XP standard suspension is one of the best in our test. But this time it is the Thundercat who wins the crown. It is great fun to tackle the jumps with this cat. Only in curves the ATV tips a little bit too much to the side. Reason being, there is no sway bar on the rear axle. The Outlander is the lightest ATV in our test and has the best tires, but the worst front suspension. Although our test machine was brand new, you felt the weak dampers in the front during our light jump session and afterwards on the forest tracks. Yes, this comparison is flawed under the raining weather conditions, but at least we wanted to have an impression about the engine braking power. The Polaris ADC braking system obviously shows its strength. The other side of the coin reveals that it is only active under 14 miles per hour. On the trails, the XP shines with the lowest kickback. The longest A-arms in the front, 14-inch wheels and tires make it possible. It's a little different for the Cat. The disadvantage of a missing sway bar on the path turns out to be a good thing because it provides best ground contact. But the kickback on the Arctic Cat and the Outlander is greater than on the XP. We are looking forward to seeing the EPS on Can-Ams and on the Cats in the future. Due to its weight and its shortest width, the Outlander was the easiest to maneuver on small paths. In our house-to-house fight, mobility was the key. The Outlander especially shines here. We upped the end. We tried to reach the first floor, but here even the Can-Am failed. There simply wasn't enough room to maneuver. Lunch break. Time to look closer to our two-cylinder ATVs. Polaris redesigned the Sportsman totally. In the front you will now find double A-arms and 14-inch wheels and tires. CVT sits behind the engine. The 850cc engine performs at 70 horsepower. Our test unit measured 70 miles per hour on pavement. The ADC system boosts the engine braking power, but only under 50 miles per hour. The integral braking system bites on 4 discs. The fuel consumption under our test circumstances was 16 miles per gallon. Can-Am put 9% more horsepower out of their Rotax engine. 68 ponies accelerate the lightest ATV in our test bunch. With 73 miles per hour, it was also the fastest. The TTI construction at the rear gives the Outlander the best suspension, especially at high speed. The four-wheel drive with a whisker lock can be engaged during riding. The two discs are well covered inside. The fuel consumption of the Outlander was no rival in this class. 20 miles per gallon is what our test model ran. The Thundercat. At the first glance, not much has changed exteriorly. On second glance, you notice the longer wheelbase. The Cat is fueled by a 950cc Arctic engine with EFI and 69 horsepower. That's enough to run 70 miles per hour. Four-wheel drive can be engaged on the run. As with all the other tested ATVs, the Thundercat comes with an integral braking system on one brake lever. The consumption of our Cat was 15 miles per gallon. We are back in the off-road area. First thing we want to do is to sound out the Cat. More precisely, to find out if you aren't overpowered with such a beast. But the Cat surprises us with very easy handling. It glides smoothly over all kinds of obstacles. The long extending suspension and its width helps to do that. The Can-Am likes it aggressive. Lowest weight and the best motor power, this combination likes to turn loose. But off-roading, this is not always possible. In these situations, the Outlander is not so easy to handle. The Rotax engine reacts too spontaneously to the thumb throttle. The rear suspension is a world apart while the front. Particularly if you jump or go through some hoops, at high speed the front suspension is not your friend. It feels way too soft. At the end we introduce the newest entry, the Polaris 850 XP. At the crosstrack it fights with its weight, no doubt. On the forest path it boasts. The weight is still there, but the riding comfort is the best. Good-natured, the XP takes all the different trails. If the Polaris would have had better tires, the off-road results would have been better. If you let loose its 70 horsepower, Wild Love would run for cover. Our conclusion. Breathtaking is the engine power of all three ATVs. Watch out though, these speeds can rip your arms. Unfortunately, we still have not found the best ATV in this shootout. The individual taste, purpose and not least of all the size of your wallet will cause you to decide whether or not to purchase one of these beasts. The Thundercat and the Sportsman XP are impressive. Both of them are serious opponents to the Can-Am Outlander, if a second less or more during acceleration.